There is an ancient image that winds through cultures and centuries, a serpent swallowing its own tail. This is the Ouroboros. It symbolizes wholeness, continuity, and self-consuming return, creation, and obliteration. The Egyptians painted it around the sun god as a symbol of rebirth. The Greeks made it the emblem of cosmic cycles and eternity. I'm not sure whether Nietzsche ever explicitly used the imagery of the Ouroboros, but the metaphor is well suited to one of his famous suggestions, Eternal Recurrence. In The Gay Science, a title meaning something like joyful knowledge, Nietzsche poses what he calls the heaviest weight, a thought experiment of oppressive implication, if taken seriously. I quote Nietzsche, "What if some day or night a demon were to steal into your loneliest loneliness and say to you, 'This life as you now live it and have lived it, you will have to live once again and innumerable times again, and there will be nothing new in it, but every pain and every joy and every thought and sigh and everything unspeakably small or great in your life must return to you all in the same succession and sequence.'" Nietzsche's demon challenges us to reflect on existence as such, whether a lifetime is justified in singularity by consideration of whether it would be justified in infinite repetition. The depth of this challenge can be seen by considering that, in infinite repetition, even the most insignificant moment, choice, or action is imbued with infinite duration, consequence, and effect. Many have examined the personal implications of this thought experiment at both ethical and ontological levels. Here, I aim to discuss eternal recurrence with a different hypothetical, which is this. If it were posed as a serious theory of time, how would it compare to the contemporary A, B, and C theories of time? Not long after Nietzsche's death, analytic philosophers were dissecting time into theoretical categories. J.M.E. McTaggart, in his 1908 essay, The Unreality of Time, introduced a still-discussed trinity, the A series, B series, and C series. These are conceptual maps of temporal reality. The A series, sometimes called tensed time, claims that time flows freely forth. The past recedes, the future approaches, and the present truly exists. The A series is suitable to our human sense of becoming. We are goal-oriented creatures who constantly consider the effects of our potential present and future actions on the state of future presence. Time can be metaphorically described as a river, carrying us ever forward. The B series, or tenseless time, sees all moments as equally real. The past, present, and future coexist with equal reality. There is no flow, only structure. Reality is an ordered array of events related by concepts of earlier than and later than. Time can be metaphorically described as a frozen landscape in which we, the travelers, merely perceive our motion through it. The C series strips even the direction from time. It describes a mere ordering of events, without any inherent flow or asymmetry. It describes time not as a river, nor a frozen landscape, but metaphorically more as a map of coordinates without a compass. J.M.E. McTaggart's frameworks each uniquely address these metaphysical questions. Does time move? Are all times equally real? Does reality contain a genuine becoming or only being? It is these frameworks for time, the A series, B series, and C series, amongst which I will consider Nietzsche's eternal recurrence. His time is not linear like the A theory, nor static like the B theory, nor directionless like the C theory. It is circular. It is a loop. In one sense, Nietzsche shares here with the A theorist a reverence for becoming. He rejects the notion of a timeless reality, a timeliness being, as a lifeless illusion. For Nietzsche, existence is dynamic, restless, flux, a dance of forces endlessly forming and dissolving. But unlike the A theorist, he denies the arrow of time. There is no transcendent sense of progress, no unfolding destiny, only the eternal repetition of what already is. The same play of forces returns again and again without ultimate goal or culmination. Within eternal recurrence, time indeed flows, but it flows in a circle. Eternal recurrence can neither be comfortably housed within the B theory. The block universe of the B theorist, elegant and static, leaves no room for the pulse of becoming that Nietzsche so cherishes. In a B world, recurrence is unnecessary. Every event already exists tenselessly. Yet Nietzsche's cosmos is not static. It burns itself alive in every instant, then resurrects from its ashes. The B theorist's eternity is spatialized. Nietzsche's is vital, temporal, even in its repetition. The C theory, finally, is too bloodless, a mere skeleton of relations. Nietzsche's vision demands a world that suffers, rejoices, and wills. A universe of pure order without direction or intensity would be a contradiction in his terms. The eternal recurrence, then, is resolvedly distinct from McTaggart's Trinity. Let us return now to the Ouroboros as a symbol of the geometry of time. The serpent devouring its tail does not simply repeat, it sustains itself through repetition. The act of consumption is also the act of creation. Across civilizations, the Ouroboros has carried this paradoxical meaning: unity through cyclic destruction. The Egyptian book of the Netherworld depicts the sun god encircled by a serpent. In Greek alchemy, the Ouroboros bore the inscription hen to pan, the one, the all. For Gnostics, it represented the material cosmos eternally bound to its own decay. Nietzsche, whose writing is steeped in classical symbolism and myth, could hardly have missed the symbolic resonance. His own idea of recurrence, born perhaps from Heraclitean fragments or Stoic cosmology, describes time not as line, but as living circle. If we were to translate Nietzsche's thought into the modern vocabulary of time, we might speak of a fourth temporal ontology, a cyclical eternalism. Within cyclical eternalism, all events exist eternally. As described in the B theory, nothing is truly lost. Time structure is not linear, it is recursively looped. The universe is a closed circuit in which every configuration of forces returns, identically or nearly so, after infinite ages. Becoming remains real. Each recurrence is the living realization of the eternal pattern. This view preserves Nietzsche's affirmation of becoming while granting the eternal scope of being. It denies both the illusion of progress and the sterility of stasis. The cosmos neither advances nor freezes, rather, it circulates. Modern physics offers some reflections of this idea. Cosmological models in which the universe expands, collapses, and re-expands eternally. Thermodynamic speculations about entropy resetting across infinite eons. Yet Nietzsche's concern is not empirical, but existential. The question is not whether the universe recurs, but how we should live if we knew that it did. Eternal recurrence is Nietzsche's antidote to nihilism. If all things return eternally, every moment gains infinite weight. The doctrine demands an attitude of amor fati, a love of fate. In a linear universe, one might endure life for the sake of the future. In Nietzsche's circular universe, one must affirm life and every moment for its own sake, for it will be lived again and again. Thus, eternal recurrence transforms metaphysics into ethics. To affirm recurrence is to affirm existence unconditionally, without remainder or resentment. The test is total. The question remains, whispered from the demon of the gay science. If this life must return forever, would you embrace it? For Nietzsche, and maybe for us, the answer to this question may be one of the truest measures we have for our place in existence. I'm John Hoelzer. Thanks.